I'm Siri Trondara. I was born in Karat, Thailand and moved to the States with my family at age 5. When I was 9 years old, my parents opened up their first of many successful Thai restaurants. Asian cuisine is my comfort food, and I hope to make it yours too. Hi, this is Asian Yum Yum, and I'm your host, Siri Trondara. We are here at my favorite place, the farmer's market. Yay! There is so much fresh goodness here. I love supporting local business, I love supporting local farmers, and I love fresh ingredients, fresh vegetables, fresh fruits. Look at these oranges. Don't they look lovely? What a great idea. I'm gonna put these in my French toast. I wanna make this amazing brunch for you later, and we're gonna put these in our French toast, and it's gonna blow your mind. So today we're gonna be making a brunch, and it's gonna be Asian style. And you know what? Brunch is my favorite meal of the day because, well, where else could you get away with drinking at noon? So let's get started. First, I'm gonna be making a Mandarin French toast, and we're gonna be using a challah bread, and it looks a little like this. Now, you wanna get started with a whole loaf because you wanna be able to control your thickness. And when it comes to French toast, the thicker, the better. So, you could also, if you don't have challah toast, you could also use a brioche, which is also an egg-based bread, or you could use any white bread. So you want to have nice thick slices when you're doing French toast because, you know, brunch is one of those meals that you don't want to go wimpy at. All right, so once we've cut all our bread, this is about 1.5 inch slices. Next, we're going to make our egg batter. So I start off with 6 eggs, and we're just gonna crack them in our big bowl, and 6. Okay. Now we need milk. Okay. Now this is about 2 cups for 6 eggs. Just gonna pour it in like that. Next, we're gonna add my secret weapon, and that's nutmeg. Nutmeg is considered an aphrodisiac in Africa and some parts of South America, and now in your kitchen too. And we're just gonna add maybe a little teaspoon into the mixture. This is a way of turning your brunch into dessert. So now that we've added all that together, we're going to also add a little bit of raw honey. Raw honey is awesome. It's so thick and it's so creamy and it's just so pure and good for you. And we're just gonna put a teaspoon of raw honey into our mix. And then give it a whirl and make sure you scramble up all those eggs really nice. So what's gonna make this French toast Asian style is we're gonna be putting the zest of mandarin oranges. Now, these are sumo mandarin oranges. These are not oranges that you wanna wrestle with, all right? So if you don't have a zester, which kind of looks like this, or it may look like this, if you don't have a zester, you could also get away with a grater, okay? What you wanna do is just zest the outside of the orange, and don't zest the white part. That's the little bit of a bitter part. Now, the reason why we're using orange zest is because you could get a citrus flavor in dishes without having to add the juice of oranges, which is nice. It would take about 5 oranges to get the flavor of 1 zested orange. So you're just gonna keep going, and it's about zest of 1 orange, which is maybe about a teaspoon. In Japan, it's considered a tradition to give mandarin oranges as a gesture of goodwill, prosperity, and good luck. So by putting this in your French toast, you're telling your guests, I love you. Okay, my pan's ready, so I'm gonna add just a little butter to the pan. Now we have our delicious egg mixture here with my secret weapon of nutmeg, which is an aphrodisiac, as well as my mandarin orange zest. And we're soaking it up in this delicious eggy challah bread. Are you excited yet? Challah bread is super eggy, and we're putting it in this delicious egg mixture. So now it's going to be an egg-extravagant, extraordinary dish. So you want to get a nice brown to the French toast on both sides. You don't have to cook them for too long, maybe 30, 40 seconds on each side. This is a great dish to make in the beginning of your cooking because this is something you can put in a casserole pan, put it in the oven at 200, then make yourself a mimosa, or the other way around. Cooking is like dating. You have your first course, your second course, and you have your dessert. But of course, you always want to start off with a cocktail. The first course whets the appetite and tells you what's to come. The second course is the main course, and dessert tells your guest, I think you're sweet. Next, I'm going to put these in the oven at 200. Then we're going to get started with our shiitake scrambled eggs. Now we're going to make our shiitake scrambled eggs. Scrambled eggs is a staple of every American breakfast, but I wanted to put an Asian spin to it. And how am I going to do that? I'm going to add these little lovely things called shiitake mushrooms. Now, if you don't have shiitake mushrooms, you could also use any kind of other mushroom, like a white button mushroom, baby portobello mushrooms, or even big portobello mushrooms. But I love the taste of shiitake mushrooms. It just takes me back to home, and there's just nothing that says, I love you, like shiitake mushrooms. Now, the thing about shiitake mushrooms is that we don't use the stem of it because it's a little tough. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take some shiitake mushrooms, we're gonna remove the stems. Removing the stems, and to save time, you could put a few together instead of just cutting one at a time. And then you're just gonna cut them real thin here. Now you don't wanna wash your mushrooms. Sometimes they will have a, not so much shiitake, but other mushrooms might have a little dirt and settlement. What happens when you wash your mushrooms is that the water will get into the mushrooms and it'll soak up all that, and you don't want that. Wait till you make this dish at home. You're gonna be blown away at how easy this is. Now we're gonna scramble our eggs. I use, this is not really a dish that requires a recipe. It depends on how many people you have coming over for your brunch. I'm just gonna use the rest of my eggs. In Thailand, we have a dish called kai jio, and it's a Thai omelet. And what we usually do is we put all sorts of things in it, like pork, chicken, and garlic, ginger, anything and everything that you want, and then we serve it with hot sauce. When I go to my aunt's house, that's what I wake up to, is this delicious smell of kai jio, and it's just awesome. And making this dish is just gonna be bringing me back home. Now we're gonna cut some onions, and we're just gonna take the outer peel off. And like I said, the more rustic, the better. It doesn't have to be perfect. Wait till you see how easy these eggs are. You're gonna flip, and you're gonna want to eat brunch every day. Now that my pan's a little hot, I'm gonna add a little bit of butter. I'm gonna add my onions. We're not going to caramelize these onions. We're just gonna cook them until they're a little translucent. It smells so good. You could also add a little salt and pepper to your egg mixture. Next, we're gonna add the shiitake mushrooms. Now when you're cooking this, the onions mixed with the mushrooms is going to create this luscious, delicious aroma that you might have to make a double batch when your neighbors start knocking at your door. And you want to constantly be stirring the onions and mushrooms just so that they don't get too burned on any one side. It's just nice to keep it going. Now we're going to add our egg mixture, and you want to just kind of keep it going. This is a lot of eggs, so this might take a couple minutes to cook, and this was pretty easy. Like I said, you might have to make a double portion once your neighbor starts smelling how good this is. This is an example of scrambled eggs, which is easy. Everybody knows it, everybody loves it, but this is just adding a little spin, making it a little bit more gourmet, and your guests are just going to love it. Now you want to get your pan about medium hot, not too high, not too low, just enough to cook the eggs. You know, when you're making scrambled eggs, you don't want them too hard. You want to get a nice top texture. My scrambled eggs are almost done. Now my eggs are done, and what we're gonna do now is we're gonna plate it. Oh, here we go. Oh, wait till my friends eat this. They're gonna flip out. Don't these eggs look beautiful? But wait, they're not done yet. We're gonna add just a little touch of love and a little splash of caring. And how are we gonna do that? We're gonna take a little bit of cilantro. There's nothing like fresh cilantro that just adds so much aroma and a little bit more depth into some dishes. And then just cut it. A little crazy, it doesn't matter. You don't have to be perfect. So we're just gonna sprinkle a little bit of on top. Now to add a little color, I'm going to add just thin slices of red bell peppers. We also like using things that add to the flavor profile. So the reason why we're not cooking down the red bell peppers is because it adds a little bit of vibrant color, and then a little bit of that crunchiness is just such a nice balance with these eggs. Now if this doesn't say let's celebrate, I don't know what does. So now we plated our brunch, and now we have our shiitake scrambled eggs, and we have our mandarin French toast, both made with love. And this brunch is super easy. I mean, you saw how easy it was. It's a winning brunch that's gonna make all of your family and friends super happy. This is my Asian spin on brunch, and I hope to make it yours too. Accidents can sometimes be a good thing. For example, champagne was an accident. Hello, and you can Google that. So the moral of the story is, if you have an accident in the kitchen, don't sweat it. Pick yourself up and try again, because you might have a masterpiece on your hands. Now that we've made our brunch, it's time for mimosa and a Bloody Mary. I love brunch because where else can you get away with drinking in the middle of the day, right?
5 o'clock somewhere.
That's right. So I have my best buddy here, Kevin, and he's a special friend. So we're gonna make some special cocktails. So first we're gonna get started with our mimosa, and we're gonna jazz it up a bit and make it with a little bit of jackfruit and passion fruit. So, sounds good, right? Okay, so a mimosa is super easy. It's usually 2 ingredients. It's usually champagne and OJ. Now, like I said, we're gonna jazz it up a bit and use a little bit of our jackfruit over here. And this is jackfruit. It's a fruit from Thailand. I love it, I grew up with it, and it's actually the world's largest fruit. It's freakish. It can be like 20, 30 pounds. And I'm using the canned variety, so what we want is just the syrup. And this is passion fruit right over here. So what we're gonna do is just do equal parts of both. So we're gonna throw in our little jackfruit right there. Next, our passion fruit. And these flavors are going to give you a little bit of that citrus flavor that you expect in a mimosa, but it's gonna be a little unexpected. So to make this mimosa extra special, we're gonna make a zested sugar rim. Now what does that mean? What is zest? It is just the outside of any citrus fruit. It could be a lemon or a lime. We're gonna use mandarin oranges here. And this is what's called a zester. If you don't have a zester, you could also use a grater. And what we're gonna do is we have our granulated sugar here. You don't want to go too crazy because you only want to zest the orange part. You don't want to zest the white part because that's a little bitter. So you're just gonna mix that around a little bit. Now we're gonna cut our zested orange, and then we're just gonna take the orange, put it around the rim. Okay, I'm just gonna put it in our sugar orange zest mixture here. Put these aside. Don't these look good, Kevin?
I like it already.
I'm gonna get the big glass because I have more personality. Okay, you do it like a man.
Well,
These will turn any brunch into a celebration. And what's nice is that some of the sugar and the orange zest just kind of falls in the champagne. It's just lovely.
some for you, some for me.
Okay, now we're gonna add our passion fruit jackfruit mixture. And it's gonna give you that orangey, beautiful color that you're used to in a mimosa, but with an unexpected flavor. Happy brunch!
Happy brunch.
That's nice.
That's good.
Cheers.
Let me check again. Make sure.
That's good. Happy brunch, y'all.